Hi, I'm Ray, and welcome to the Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast. This is an offshoot that we do sometimes of reviews of new movies, sometimes TV series. But tonight, I am reviewing a movie that is coming out in the UK. It's already here streaming, but in the UK, it's releasing on January 10th. It's a remake of the original 1987, I believe, Street Trash. This is by Lightbulb Film Distribution. And I'll just read you a little blurb here. It was directed by Ryan Kruger. Will be released in the UK cinemas from January 10th. The feature is a reimagining of the 1987 cult horror comedy of the same name. And Kruger, you might know him, he'd previously directed Fried Barry. Just a very short summation. A group of misfits must fight for survival when they discover a plot to exterminate every homeless person in the city. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have watched the original, because it was on Shudder for a time. I don't know if it still is. I think it might be. I turned it off. It was, not my jam. I mean, it was usually, I love body horror. I love it. But for some reason, I didn't care for it. It wasn't hitting for me. This, however, I really fucking enjoyed. I really enjoyed it. I saw a review today somewhere, was I don't know if I like it more or less. I'm no, it's I think it knows what it is, and it knows the humor. It goes for it. I mean, I will say, that okay, so first, let me just do a quick little, what it's about, and then, I'll do my little review, and, how we try to review things when we're getting down to, we do kind of a compliment sandwich, and then I give my ratings. So just a little bit of synopsis about the movie. So kind of what you said, it's a group of homeless, displaced people that are, it's kind of the man is against them, and it's the mayor of this town. I believe it's Australia. And it's in Australia, not not the town is Australia. And the mayor doesn't want any more of these, homeless people, these street trash hanging around. So they developed this chemical that they can put in water, but they can also use it as a gas. And so there's all these trials that we see of them, experimenting on the displaced people before it goes he's gonna send it out mass to all of the displaced people and eliminate them from the city. And we have this ragtag group of come to be friends by the end of it, but very different characters. They're that's one thing I will say, as opposed to the original, is this has more characterization than the original does. There's also a bit of more cohesiveness between the misfits, as I'll call them, as opposed to the original version. Everyone's likable. Everyone's very likable in this movie. Again, very different from the original. You really actually do care whether or not these people make it or not. And we have this really kind of ballsy young girl what's her name? Alex, who comes in. She's played by Donna Cormack Thomas, and our lead here is Ronald, played by Sean Cameron Michael. So we got those three named stars here, which I joke that you can only have 3 names if you're a serial killer. What? I am so kidding. But yeah, so everyone does a great job. Like I said, everyone knows what they're here for. There's nobody that's shirking their or phoning it in. Everyone's here for what they're doing. So let me get to the compliment sandwich now. So how we do things with the compliment sandwich, we start with something we liked, we move to the meat, which is something we might not have liked as much, and then the bottom bun is something we like to end on a high note, so another pro. So for me, the top bun is the practical effects. Holy cats, it's awesome. They're over the top, and you could tell that it's love that's put into it. I don't know how much money was put in, but definitely love. It's gross. It's really gross, but I kind of love that instead of it just being like blood, blood, blood. We get all these different crazy colors. It's like paint. Like you can see it almost looks, I would assume it's probably paint that came out, like that they used, or possibly Carol Sharp. This, like, I don't know. I don't know what they use, but it looks great. So effects, you're going to be grossed out. Like if you don't like body horror and you don't like, faces coming off and, spewing, like this was not going to be a movie for my my co-host. She doesn't like throwing up, like vomiting scenes, so this was not going to be for her. Because I was telling her, I'm like, you would love this, we should watch it together, and then the more I got into it, I was like, yeah, no, this is too much, this would be too much vomiting for you. And so, like, I would say go in knowing that, like, you if you've seen the original, you know what you're in for. Like, it's very gory. So something I didn't like is, some, like, the meat for me, I don't know if I really had a meat. Like, honestly, like, it is what I mean, like, honestly, it's it's short too. It's only like an hour and 15, I think. Let me see what we got here. It is, hour and 25, so it is almost it is a full length, but it goes very quickly. It moves fast. So I would say, like, I don't know, I mean, I could have done a lot more. I mean, I would have liked to see what happens afterwards. Maybe there'll be a Street Trash 2, because we need to see what, where these characters go afterwards. And then Bottom Bun, something, another thing that I liked, I mean, I think the concept is good, and I mean, honestly, where we're at, especially here in the United States right now, hits hard, man. Hits real hard. So, because it's 2025 and everyth's a dumpster fire, so that could be a con too, like, to remind me that there's a fucking dystopian world outside my goddamn door right now. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely prescient for this time right now. So let's go to ratings. How we rate things, we rate on a 5-point scale. Depending on what they are, we do blood and gore. So blood and gore, oh my god, 5. Like, this is very gory. Very gross, I should say. It's not like, well, yeah, it's gory. Spooky scary. How spooky was it? I mean, the concept, I think, I'm going to say 1.5, because the concept is horrifying. Like, instead of helping these people who are displaced and underserved, let's just eliminate them. I mean, I don't know any government that would do that. Anyhow, so 1.5 for me on that one. Sex and nudity, there's a lot of sorry, there's a character that is imaginary, but he's I cannot remember the name of it. It is voiced by the director, by Ryan Kruger, but he's hysterical. It's a puppet, and as I texted my co-host Ween, I said, I literally just saw 2 penises. One was on a puppet. After he snorted coke, I just watched a puppet snort coke, rails of coke off of a lady's butt. So and there's a lot of innuendo, so I would say probably 2, maybe 1.5, 2. I mean, there's no like sex scenes. I mean, they're implied, very, very implied. Oh, is that the last one? Yeah, that's the last one. Or the last one is fun and entertainment. How fun did I think? I think this is 3.5. This is great. Like, again, I wish, like, I would tell, like, Ween to, like, close her eyes during the throwing up parts, but I think she would adore this because it's so funny. I will go back to this. I think it was hysterical. So if that's, like, if you are a fan of, like, of the original, if you like Dead Alive, or Brain Dead, however, whichever one that I know it as Dead Alive, but like really over the top gory stuff. Meet the Feebles, those sort of movies, like early Jackson, you'll love this. Yeah, so I would say 2 thumbs up. Watch it. Again, it comes out again across the UK January 10th. Here in the United States, you can rent it already. It is streaming. But yeah, so check back with us. We'll have more reviews coming up in the future. Also check onto our YouTube. We have a segment that we do for the podcast, and we also do video called To Be or Not to Be, where we watch. We're both like, we get, as we say, hit with the film arrow, and we are given a Tubi horror movie to watch each week, and we review it, and we post it online, and we hope it's funny. We think it's funny. But you can find us a whole bunch of different places, like and subscribe, and follow us on Spotify. Again, we have a weekly horror podcast where we try to break things down by franchise. This year, however, I'm happy to announce that we are doing directors. So it is, but each month will be a new director, because we've realized that there are, like, John Carpenter, I mean, you all know John Carpenter. What I'm saying is we've already done Halloween, but he has so many other, films that we haven't covered yet that don't fit into a franchise. So we're going to do all directors this year, with one exception, with 1 month of exceptions. But again, until next time, keep it spooky.